Oops, I overwrote the wrong one. This should be an easy prove, though. Defendant lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. No, wait, get back here. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty, and to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here it is. She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. We're gonna read baby's first evidence law. Rule number 1, shown without proof of the support of the police department. And the chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message. She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Well, there you go. I think that's our rule number 10. Know the 2 rules of evidence law. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Okay. I'm gonna take this opportunity to read this book. Rules for submitting evidence. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence must be relevant to the case on trial. That's a pretty big book for 2 things. Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? We're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people, and it's got to come to an end. February 25th, 1252, District Court, courtroom number 9. We're on it, chat. We're hot on the case. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Ms. Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls for the witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there was some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking, and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution. That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring about the real murderer. So it's not Lana Skye. It's not Emma. I think it's gotta be him. I'm just trying to think of any other way that this could possibly have gone down. You always gotta antagonize my Nightbot. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does this have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. I can't wait for his shocked face. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? But please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. He's gonna plead the fifth, I know it. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Doc was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Alright, we're gonna... Alright. Hold it. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Doc made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. Guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. You found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Doc was also lying, collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. She had already arranged the crime scene. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body had already been moved, so that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter the circumstances. Okay, staring at a witness won't do you any good. If you're going to stare at something, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always a smooth talker. Okay, we gotta link him to the incident. That's easy. That's very easy. Because... Bam. If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this? What's that? What's that on a handprint? Chief Gant, your explanation, please. I don't know, you tell me, son. Huh? My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial? It appears the defense was not prepared. I guess it's too early to use that piece of evidence. Well, okay, I'll do it just this once, but only because you asked, Archie. Thank you. I assure you the defense is terribly sorry. Ha ha ha. Yeah, sorry I didn't nail you. Okay. You're questioning... The ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Doc and made him run away like that. Was the defendant, Lana Skye, also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Doc ran for it. Okay, so... I guess what I really am wanting to push for is the vase. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk, which was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Victory theme, we gotta be close. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured Dick will receive his due punishment. What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying for work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding the pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Alright. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am Chief of Police, right? There will be consequences. Oh, indeed, I believe I will press charges so you don't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today as well, you know. All right, Urgy. In return, though. I know. That place, right? Oh, what are these guys, telepathic? Alright. We gotta nail him here. We could have planted it in his office. We can't prove when they were discovered. That's... Actually... I feel like I could. Except I can't flip this back over because we forgot how to do that. Let's see here. Victims, trial data. Okay. If they were found after he was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. This is a toughie. So I can't prove... I mean... logic, facts and logic and reasoning. So they were found after he was convicted. I think that's what I have to prove. I'm gonna push that one. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized after the Daydark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient, right? The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Wright, think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. What is at the crux of it? I mean, that would prove that it existed. I think that it needs to be the full evidence list. Nope. Okay. I don't like this guy. Me neither. He's making my brain hurt, too. They were found after he was convicted, and they're worthless. Nope, that's not it either. They were found after he was convicted. I think I just need to press him. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Scott. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me in any way. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in and of itself is sufficient evidence. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next Chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made Chief anyway. Be careful when pointing the finger sometime, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Oh, gee, would you mind changing if I change my testimony a little bit? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough yourself, though. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could he have helped someone out? Yes, he helped Lana. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the Chief as a nice man who likes to help lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then, who is the person you believe he may have helped forge evidence? It's Lana. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He'd be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire all unchecked authority for all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that, despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? I love the judge. What a goober. Oh, wait. You must mean puppet in the... Whoopsie. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I control Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I have done as such? Lana, she's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, all this amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. What do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved with the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? What? How could he? We go swimming! Order. I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Okay, you guys might be right. The lunch lady didn't kill anybody. But still. Huh? This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder, that's impossible! You keep using that word, Judge. I don't think it means what you think it means. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier-to-understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? The chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder. Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then, let's see what Mr. Wright's got. It better be good. What ties him to the murder of Detective Goodman? Oh, that's easy. That's this. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. All 7s. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open, a 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was all 7s. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation of you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. Objection. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Skye's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. And if Chief Gant met with the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing: what transpired during that meeting. In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet with Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Bingo. No, there's gotta be something more solid than this. Oops. You can't terminate me, I'm a freelancer. Okay, proof that he went to meet with him. What is the proof that he went to meet him? Ooh. It's got Emma Sky's prints. It's not his ID card. Record of the parking lot. That's Edgeworth. Death due to loss of blood. 1 knife wound. Edgeworth's car. The picture. Evidence room on 221. So it's not that one. Half-written document dated 221. Oh, goodness. This is complicated. This is not that. It's not that. There we go. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. I missed the detail that it could only be submitted to the chief of police. I thought it was the chief of detectives. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yes, you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to. Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman? Exactly. But wait, the chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I think he said that he did. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Oh my goodness! Holy cow, what a face! Chief Gant, you didn't! The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. When the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's parking lot, how did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body. All this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief move the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. Okay, just because I'm getting low on the court HP, to move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. I think it's the screwdriver. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver. But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... I was asked to go, by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless you can have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation to transport the body to your accomplice, Ms. Lana Skye. Order, order, order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal in the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Ms. Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. This is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe. Your time's up. My time's up. Sorry, Wright, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. Objection. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? The police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? This is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. David Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have concrete proof? Proof that he murdered Detective Goodman and made Ms. Skye dispose of his body. I believe that I do not yet. Actually, no, I might, because it would be this knife. Present evidence. I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence. Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove that he murdered Detective Goodman without a shadow of a doubt. Bam. So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof. As to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt, I'll let you be the judge. But I am the judge. Oh, right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor? What I think is that I'm going to be late for lunch. I guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor. Just a little longer to consider. Okay, we'll save again here just so that I got time to go back in case I was wrong in trying to push evidence. I'll say it again. Almost right. Your Honor, do you have concrete proof? I'm gonna say not yet. It's no use showing evidence I'm not sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present I have no conclusive evidence. So, Chief? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your actions against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, right? It seems Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Oji, I'll leave the rest to you. I assume this is going to get us a guilty verdict and it's going to go bad. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront. What? Lady Luck. Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, only her testimony is, relevant. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else who can. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. The defendant? Ms. Lana Skye. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. Court is now Hold on a minute. Chief, Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marsh's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet. If they're gonna actually make me go to recess, I might have a lunch date to meet. We may not be able to finish today. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure, I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean... Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair, he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. It has consequences. Or risks to be, considered. Risks. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Or, you mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man, and she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she has changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her easier for her that way. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal! Yeah, blame society. Chief Gant may have been able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued.